Hi everyone, it is Mermaid Lanai, the New York Mermaid here, and I am doing a video because I did a couple of things the other day and I started thinking about some stuff. There was a contest going on and I had to write about, being a mermaid, what it means to me and whatnot, and it really made me think about who I am as a mermaid and what I do. And I wanted to read to you what I actually wrote so I can, share my thoughts and whatnot. So let me bring it up here. It's on my computer and my phone, and I wrote, "To me, being a mermaid means making a positive impact, but at the same time, making someone's day." Now, I can give you the sob story about how I started as a mermaid because of my lung collapse. And the truth is, losing half my lung was horrible, and I became depressed, and I hated it, But being able to swim and being free at that moment was just, I felt great, I felt free. But what I mean by positive impact is when I met this little girl at the beach at my first mermaid meetup in 2011, 2012. And she stood with us and talked with us, she played with us, and just enjoyed being around us. And at the end, when it was time for her to go home, her mother came up to me in tears and said, "Thank you so much for making her day. Today's her birthday, and we couldn't give her a party, so we decided to bring her here. And being around you and your friends made her so happy." Now, hearing that, it reminded me that there are people out there who don't have much, and we take a lot for granted these days. I've done my share of free parties and visits, and because it's never about the money or being in the news or on TV, it's about, making someone's day. For all you know that the kid that you meet could be suffering from an illness, has a special need, or has been dealing with a lot of family issues, maybe depressed about something. But I do everything I can in that time that I'm with them to make them happy and make their day extra special, even if it's for a half hour to an hour. I always make sure to let them know that they are amazing and can and will do great things in the future. And that's also why I do meetups, because there will always be a kid out there that just needs a smile or even some encouragement. My favorite thing about meeting kids is how they light up when they see you. They're just in awe, and they ask so many questions. And yeah, saying goodbye is sad, but being tackle hugged never fails to make me smile or my mertender laugh. I've even had kids ask if they could keep me in their bathtub or their pool, and for me to be their forever friend. And I know it sounds silly to say, but I truly love what I do. And yeah, there are days when I don't feel great emotionally, and there are days when my health is bad because I have a thyroid issue, and I'm always tired. But if I have a party, or I'm at a meetup at the beach, I will always put myself in fourth gear and get to it, because I know what I do is special, especially when it comes to kids and some adults. So if you're asking me what it means to be a mermaid, it's about doing something special and unique that makes people gaze in shock and wonder. They become curious and usually bring a smile, and it usually brings a smile to their faces. It's not about being free. It's about making a difference, especially in someone's day. Now, I wrote that not that long ago. I get emotional, I'm sorry. I wrote that not that long ago. I had a lot of problems, and when I say I can give you the sob story of my life, what happened. In 2005, September 9th, 2005, I went to the hospital with chest pain thinking I had pneumonia. And they took an x-ray and they rushed me into the resus room, which is the resuscitation unit. And they told me my lung had collapsed and they had to do a chest tube. I didn't understand what a chest tube was. I thought they had to like stick something down my throat. But when they started explaining that they had to cut my side open and stick a tube in there to inflate my lung, which was at, I believe they said 10% left. My whole world, like, it was surreal. It was scary, And it's hard to open up about this because I've never had a surgery before. I've never dealt with any of this stuff. And yeah, I've been in and out of the hospital my entire life. But to have that, it affected me really bad emotionally and stress and everything. I'll spare you the details about the pain and all that. But I was in the hospital for 2 weeks and I was not getting better. And they suggested to do a surgery to remove half of my right lung. And because I had a huge hole there and it was not doing great and the tissue had thinned out and it was a big thing. So, yeah. So I had the surgery and I stopped breathing for 10 minutes. They had a hard time getting me back. That's what I hear. And it was like when people told me that, I was just like, wow. I didn't think nothing of it, like I didn't understand, but I have a second chance at life, And when the doctor said, there are things you can do, start swimming, it'll help bring your lung, make your breathing better and all that. But when I started looking for like fins and somebody suggested monofins and I started looking and I found Mermaid Cariel and Mermaid Linden. And I spoke to Mermaid Cariel and I talked, found out more information and, it was just like, this is pretty cool. I want to do something cool, I want to try this myself. And I got on Merjuku when it was back then and now it's like Mer Network and, made so many friends and learned so much about tails and, basically, it was just like one of those things when you want to learn so much about a subject and you just want to like take it all in and, try it out. And my first tail was a magic tail. I had to think. It was a fabric tail, magic tail. And I had it for about 5 months. And then I got oh my god. It was a tail from Fish Butts. It was a latex tail from Fish Butts. And then, I practiced with that, and I started doing parties. And meeting people and meeting kids. And, to be and do what I do professionally, it's just I can't take it for granted because the look on kids' faces when they see you, it's just like that moment of oh my god, they just they don't know what to do with themselves. You flip your tail and they're like, oh, and they start asking tons and tons of questions, and they always tell me things, and there's always that one kid that's just gets you in the heart and just there was one kid that I remember and she couldn't talk. She had problems. She was mute. She couldn't talk. But she spoke with her hands and her gestures, and her mom would tell me, when she saw me, she was just it was so cute. And it was just one of those things when you're just holy crap, I realize I'm making someone's day. And she just got out the hospital. If I remember correctly, she was out of the hospital. And, the mom hired me to do a meet and greet, and that was fine, And, just sitting there with her, and I read her a book, her favorite book, and we talked, and she colored things, and I colored with her. I told her stories, and, we just sang her little birthday, and she sat there on my lap and ate a cupcake. It was the cutest thing. And, I love what I do. I wouldn't change it for the world. And yeah, I've had people that look at me strange, and people that are like, you're crazy for doing stuff like that. But it's not about them. There will always be people in your life that will look at you awkward and think you're crazy and think you're different and all that stuff. But it's not about them. It's about you and how you feel. Okay? And in my lifetime, I've dealt with a lot. When I was younger, I was the outcast in my school. I could not see. I'm partially blind in this eye. I was hit by a swing when I was younger, too. And I had to wear glasses. And I have a learning disability. And at that fact, I was a little slower than the class. It took time for me to learn certain things. But I got through it. And I graduated high school actually a year in advance than I was supposed to, which is great. But, and I went to college and I did my stuff. And sometimes your path tends to change at the weirdest times, because I was working in marine animal. I was doing educating and basically, teaching people about marine life. And I was a year into my marriage when my lung collapsed. I was on my 9th year at the aquarium as an educator, and it was just like so much going on, and even at your highest point, something will drop down. But here's the thing, you can't let it get to you. It's hard to say that, and you will always feel that you can't do it, and you don't know how to do it, and it's too hard. But there's this thing called mind over matter. And if you push yourself hard enough, you can do anything you put your mind to. When I became a mermaid, it was just amazing. And I had support from my husband and friends. And it took my parents a little bit to get into. My mom, she was crazy about me because she was like, she wanted to be a Weeki-Wachi mermaid. So she literally lives vicariously through me. So every time I'm there, all she wants to do is hear stories about the birthday party I did and see photos and videos, My dad, he was tough. Very tough. He raised me pretty, firm, it was Spanish family, so we're very, traditional. When I told him what I was doing, he was just like, I'm not sure how to handle this, But it took him seeing what I do. It took him seeing video and seeing it up close of what I do to, really accept it. You know how weird it is now for my father to, tell his friends, my daughter is a professional mermaid, she works with kids, and she loves what she does. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something that you want to do, because it's not, it's not the proper thing to do, If you want to be a mermaid or a merman, you can do it. I did. And it's never about being on TV or being in the news or any of that stuff. If you want to be a mermaid because about the fame, I don't suggest it, because fame, as they say, is 15 minutes. You can have the longest 15 minutes of your life, and at the end you have nothing to show for it. You may have a photo, a video, whatever, but the press can love and hate you. And That's the biggest thing. I mean, with me, I love making a difference in a child's life, you know? The party I did last time was a little girl that just like, she was amazingly smart, and she wanted to talk to me about fish and talk to me about my tail, and it was kind of interesting because she asked me, why do I have scales if I'm like a dolphin? And I said, because I've adapted to the ocean. Like a platypus, he has a beak and he has webbed feet and he has fur, and he's different. And mermaids come in different shapes and sizes and species too. So she caught that real quick, but she was just like bringing that imagination to her. And then saying goodbye was like, she didn't want me to leave, and I told her I had to go back to the ocean because my whale and dolphin friends are waiting for me. She came over and gave me the biggest hug, and she said, can you say hi to your friends and please come back to my birthday next time? And I love when kids ask me that, and I'll say, let me speak to my mom, your mom, and let me speak to my ocean friends and see what they say, you know? And we're working on that. The mom and I were talking about it, and she was like, I would love to hire you next year. So I love everything I do. My job, it can be hard. You have good days, you have bad days. And I mean, I can complain about my life and my health and everything. And yeah, I have a thyroid problem. I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. You see this thing right here? This has to be removed. My hormones are technically dead in water right there. This thing ain't working. It's not working. I have to take a pill for the rest of my life. But I don't let that get me down, you know. I know there are other things to look forward to. There's a bigger, better thing out there. There's something new. A new day will always come. There will always be something, you know. So when people tell you things like, you shouldn't do it, or, you know, remember, it's your life, and it's what you want to do. If you want to be a mermaid, go be a mermaid. Start slow, do everything properly, and go do it. You know? That's what I tell people. If I didn't take the road less traveled, if I didn't think out that box, I wouldn't be here today. You know? And I'm grateful for every hard trial I've gone through, every tear I've cried. I'm grateful for everything. And I hope that whatever journey you take is one that takes you to something really special. Cherish every memory that you get. Cherish every little moment, even if it seems stupid at that moment. Even if you're sitting halfway in water wearing the stupidest hat in the world, but it's making the kid happy. You know? I don't care about that stuff. It's all about happy and doing something special and making a difference in someone's life, even if it is being in tail, you know. So, I'm sorry I rambled, but I had to get that out. And I wanted to let you guys know what's, you know, what I've been on, my thoughts and stuff. So, I'm going to let you guys go. It is time for me to head out because it is close to, it is 11 o'clock. Anyway, my lovely sea stars, please take care of yourselves. And I would love to know about you guys and your journey and what you plan to do in your future. You're more than welcome to comment below. You know, if you want to know more about me or have any suggestions, you're more than welcome to post below as well. Leave a comment. I would truly appreciate it. So, my lovely sea stars, it is time for me to swim off. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or whatever time it is. And take care. Bye.